Thanks, Brady. So I'm Leo, and I'm going to share what I've learned over the last couple of years living in a really big group house. So a couple of years ago, me and some friends bought one of those really big, pretty houses up by Volunteer Park. And we could afford it because a bunch of us went in on it together. And we live there now, all of us, with some renters. We have a couple of guests staying with us for a while, 4 cats, a puppy, and like Brady said, we got a baby on the way. And this group will somehow form a family, and that's the way, sorry. So why would you do something like this? Why would you want to live like this? Well, humans are fundamentally social creatures, and there's scientific evidence to show that people are happier and generally better off when they spend more time together. But for me, really, it comes down to having the right environment to raise my kids in. And I want them to have more than just 2 adults around. I believe it takes a village. And these days, if you want that village, you gotta make it for yourself. And that village, to be stable, like we felt we had to own the village. We had to buy the place. And it took a while. It took us 3 years to get our finances lined up and to find the place and get a loan before we could actually move in. So if you wanna do this, start talking to your friends now. And you know, it doesn't have to be just your best friends, but it does have to be somebody you trust. So somebody who's been in your social circle for a number of years, and sit down with them and talk for a few hours about all the things on this list and write it all down. Try and figure out if you're going to be compatible. So one thing that people get scared about is, well, what if I need to sell? What if I need to get out? What do I do about that? Well, here's a simplified flowchart of what we came up with. And it's not the only way. There's actually plenty of ways to do it. But the important thing is to have a plan and to get a lawyer to write it up for you. It's called a tenancy in commons contract. And sign it, and then if things ever go badly, you've got a plan for how to deal with it reasonably. Another thing that can be complicated is getting a loan. If you need to borrow like $1 million and there's like 3, 4, 5 of you on the loan, those big banks, they'll say, oh yeah, no problem, we can help you with that. Then they can't. Find yourself a small, local, friendly bank who's going to treat you like a human being, and you're going to do a lot better. Trust me on this one. So that's some advice on buying a house with your friends. And when it comes to living together, one of the first questions you need to ask is, what's the governance system that your house is going to have? So we live under a democracy in our house. And that means that we make our decisions kind of communally. Sometimes the process moves a little bit slowly. But people generally are happy about it. And this idea of a democracy extends out to our chore system. So there are other ways to do it. So like, imagine a traditional, you're assigned what to do. You take out the trash and you do the dishes. That's sort of like a command economy, like a communist system. What we've done is something different. We use more market forces, and we've actually gamified our chore chart. People can do whatever they want. I feel like cleaning up cat barf. I get 1 point. People love points. And it motivates people just to get points. You don't actually get anything for the points, but you get points. And it works because we hire a house cleaner, and they come once a week, and we split it up amongst everybody, and that makes it actually not expensive. There's a lot of things that get cheaper and easier when there's a bunch of people, like waiting for the cable guy. Only one person needs to do that. Or buying groceries. If you can coordinate it, only one person needs to do that. Food is a great example of where economies of scale can kick in a group house. It doesn't take that much longer to cook dinner for an entire household versus just cooking a proper meal for yourself. And so I really encourage you, if you can, in a group house, share your food. Food is such a social bonding experience. We share everything, and we get food delivered every week, which is another great efficiency system. And it's all in there, and it really just works. Food almost never goes bad in our fridge because people eat it. This box of chai here is a weird exception. Somebody wrote that W or 3 on it. Nobody knew whose it was. It sat in the fridge for months until it finally went bad. And that's like a rare exception. Things, generally it really works. But the moral of this lesson is that you can actually do a lot more damage by trying to keep very close track of whose is what than just dealing with a little bit of inequity. So when you're thinking about how to do this, don't overthink it, because you can actually make things worse. Another lesson, especially for control freaks like me, is to learn to let go a bit. Some days you're going to come home and find that your couch has been misbehaving and your roommate had to put your couch on timeout. You could get pissed off about it, or not. ultimately, I highly recommend this lifestyle. I think it's fabulous. And there's far more that I'd love to say about it than I can fit into 5 minutes. So if you want to read more, check out my blog at embracingchaos.com/community. Whoa. I don't know what that is. All right, I'm done. Well, thanks for your time.